This dirty tone sounds amazing. What's up? Mason here, back on the Synthedelic channel. This time it's going to be an Alice in Chains tone, Dirt. Two tones, a dirty and a somewhat distorted clean tone. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it as close as it is, but when you download this tone, you might need to tweak it to cater to your guitar and your pickups and the cadence of your room. For all the clips that I'm using a wah, or you hear a wah, it's this wah. It's the Cowboys, the Dime Crybaby from Hell. You can set up an auto wah or a T-wah on the Katana and remove one of the parametric EQs. I might even have one of those in the download. So let's see what I got going in the Tone Studio. I did start with a sneaky amp. I started with the T-amp lead sneaky amp. This is supposed to be a Hughes & Kettner tri-amp. I just found that it sounded the most like whatever Jerry used on this album. And with 48 on the gain, 59 bass, 35 middle, 56 treble, 43 presence with a vintage cabinet resonance, this is the basic starting tone before I add anything to it. Sounds super reserved, but it is a good starting tone. The break apart is similar to what I was looking for. So it's going to be chain 4-2. For the booster, I got the Senta OD with the drive at 42, the tone at -5, the bottom at -15, and the effect level at 83. This perfectly shapes the distortion to act like the way that the distortion was behaving with the amplifier that Jerry used. I'm going to be making a video about the Senta OD here pretty soon because it's my favorite booster on here. You can make it behave in so many different ways, and I like that about it. In the mod section, I got a graphic EQ, -2 dB at 31 Hz, -7 dB at 62 Hz, +7 dB at 125 Hz, +1 dB at 250 Hz, +6 dB at 500 Hz, +6 dB at 1K, +7 dB at 2K, +3 dB at 4K, -2 dB at 8K, and +3 dB at 16K with the level on -4. This is shaping the input to be more similar to Jerry's input. In the effects slot, I have a parametric EQ, the low cut at 63. I'm boosting up 125 Hz by 4 dB with the Q at 8. I'm taking away 630 Hz by 4 dB with the Q at 4. No high cut, no high gain, level is 0. I am using the first delay to double the input. I feel like this is something that makes it sound more like Jerry when you do this. I think this is something that he has done and does, and I just think it sounds a lot better when I do it. It just makes me happier. It's very subtle, it's like barely even there. And because it's coming in chain 4-2, the delay is coming before the amp, so it's going into the EQ section as well as your direct mix going into the EQ section. I have room reverb turned on with the reverb time at 1.2, the pre-delay at 7 milliseconds, the low cut at 315, the high cut at 3.15, the density at 6, and the effect level at 43. I'm using the solo for the solo EQ with a low cut at 63. I'm taking away 8K, the beehive that is 8K. I'm taking away 3 dB from 8K with the Q at 2, and I have a high cut at 10, with the level boosted by 0.5. I'm using contour type 2 with the frequency shift at 10. That shapes a lot of things. It makes it more of a roar and less of a wah, I guess. Less of a kitten, more of a lion. This first global EQ here, low cut at 63. I'm boosting up 200 Hz by 7 dB with the Q at 2. I'm taking away 5K by 7 dB with the Q at 4. I have a high cut at 10 and I'm boosting the level by +4. On the second global EQ here, I got a low cut at 63. I'm taking away 250 Hz by 6 dB with the Q at 8. I'm boosting 6.3K by 5 with the Q at 4. I have a high cut at 10 and the level is being boosted by +2. Noise suppressors on 57 with the release on 0, and that is the tone for the distorted tone. Now for the clean tone, I did start with a sneaky amp as well. I started with the VO Drive sneaky amp. This is supposed to be a Vox AC30. And with 7 on the gain, 50 bass, 71 middle, 57 treble, 50 presence, and a vintage cabinet resonance, this is the starting tone for the clean sound. It's going to be chain 3-1. In the mod section here, I have a limiter, the threshold at 40, the ratio on 3x5x1, the attack on 42, the release on 8, and the level on 40. And the rack type is rack 160D. That basically just makes it so it can't clip more than you're allowing it to. In the effects section here, I have a DC30 with the chorus intensity on 45 and the tone on 17 with the output on D+E. I'm doing the doubling thing for the clean guitar. I feel like it just sounds better again, so I'm gonna do it. 11 millisecond delay time, high cut at 2.5K, the effect level is at 57. I'm not using the second delay. I have reverb turned on, plate reverb, 3.5 reverb time, 20 millisecond pre-delay, 3.15 low cut, 6.3 high cut, density at 10 with the effect level at 52. I am using the solo for the solo EQ. I'm only taking away 630 Hz by 2.5 dB with the Q at 16, and I have a high cut at 6.3, and I'm boosting the level by 1.5. I'm using contour type 2 with the frequency shift on 7. On this first global EQ here, I have it set to amp in to GE10, minus 1231 Hz, minus 1262 Hz, minus 5.5 at 125 Hz, minus 1.0 at 250 Hz, plus 1.0 at 500 Hz, plus 5.5 at 1K, plus 4.5 at 2K, plus 5 at 4K, minus 12 at 8K, and 0 at 16K with the level on minus 5. Now we're getting a little closer to replicating based off of frequency. On the last global EQ here, I have a low cut at 100. I'm boosting up 6.3K by 4 dB with the Q at 8. At 800 Hz, I'm boosting it by 4 dB with the Q at 8. I have a high cut at 6.3, and then boosting the level by plus 5. Noise suppressors on 50, release on 0, and that is the clean tone. To record the sound demo, I'm going through my SM58 into my Behringer mixer, and that is recording into FL Studio. The microphone placement is about here. So let me know what you think of the tone down in the comments down below. If you thought it was a pretty good tone, leave a like on the video. If you want to see more tones from me, be sure to hit the subscribe button because I post a new tone about every week. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one,